Okay, so je peux dire bonjour, hello, welcome again, second day. I don't know whether you heard this yesterday, but I said to the orchestra before we started, I said, look, the thing that's most important about this week is to share with you 45 minutes of having fun with music, basically, and what happens sometimes, usually, before you see the concert. So it's not, I don't want this to be a kind of, guide d'écoute. I don't want it to be, we take apart everything and you need to know this and that. That's not the point, because I'm still absolutely convinced that you do not need to know anything when you come and experience classical music. Now, I mean, we said that yesterday, actually, didn't we? Because when we sing happy birthday to, you all know you can't finish there. You feel it already in your body, the rules, actually, of all of this music we're doing. However, look, one of the things that's great about, for all of us, music, is the idea that we are sharing this great music with you. What does it mean? If it's great music, it's always all the joy, the sadness, the laughter, the embraces, the hopes of human life. That's what we want to share with you. And the problem is it's a little bit sad at the same time, because if we could give you all the experiences we've had over the last, I don't know, 35 years, and something like the Matrix, we take it out and plug you in so that you get all the stuff, then we would be able to share really all the things that go on here. So perhaps by the end of this week, we've sort of, while we're having fun, given you a sort of, a Swiss Army knife of things you might look out for the next time you come to a concert, you listen to classical music. So there we go, that's that. So yesterday we had Mozart's, the finale of the Kleine Nachtmusik Serenade. So today we're going to have the finale of Beethoven's First Symphony. So we've now moved a little bit later on. Actually, we've started the 19th century here, because this is written in 1800, I think. Yes, this is written in 1800, this symphony. So, as you can see, we've got a little bit bigger an orchestra. So I want to just introduce you to what we've got here. We still have the same. We have a little bit more of the strings, but and we've moved the basses, haven't we? Basses were in the middle yesterday. Now we put the bubble basses over there. All right, fair enough. We're also, with COVID, of course, spread out a little bit more than perhaps. But this year, we've got used to it. So we still have first violins. What I said yesterday, you the brains, weren't we, yeah? And I said we still got the cellos and the basses, which is the heart. And we've still got the soul on the right-hand side doing the same sort of rhythm, it's like the rhythm section there. But we've got this direction. So how about we first of all meet the brass and the timbales, okay? So let's try, quand vous trouvez A, on fait quelques mesures à partir de A. All right? So we can listen to what I'm doing. Great. Now, I would like you to listen to that again. Well, I'd like you to come and have a look. Come and have a look what's in front of my nose here. I only do this because later on, I will just show you a bit of what goes on, for at least my job with them. You don't have to read music. That's not the point. You have to follow the blue. I color in my scores all the time. So you just follow light blue and the green for the timpani, all right? So could you, on fait la même chose. So, All right, so they're the furthest away. So in between them, we've got the woodwind, which are the same sort of thing. I mean, we have the flutes, we have the oboes, and we have the clarinets, all of which could be melody. They could all be first violins. We have the bassoons, which are more likely to be basses and cellos there. But let's hear this. Why don't let's find le troisième de B. Seul des bois. You're all very quiet, it's supposed to be fun, is it right? Just like a normal rehearsal. Just Great, don't worry about that. Yeah, let's have a look at where this is. Now you remember we had this bit, low bits. This is all the strings. The middle bits was the brass. So the wind at the top. All right. So they're in kind of light purple and nothing. All right. Troisième de B. I want to say again, look, we haven't spent 5 years practicing this just to show you what we do. This is really, ouch. It's really live. They've no idea. We haven't done this piece before. It's, again, lovely thing. We'll talk about it later on this week more. Gesture, first chest move, then they come this sound back. And then we go, oh, all right, well, perhaps it's this gesture. And then they go, it's this sound. So we start doing it. This is all really as it would be. All right? We'll change this as we get on. Because later on, I'll look at this bit, the bit here, and we'll just make them do it a little bit differently than that. But here we go. That's it. First thing, let's go and have a. We had Mozart going. Now, of course, all finales are basically fun. They're fun and happy and fantastic, and fireworks and poof. Funnily enough, not as you get nearer the 20th century. So as you get further on, your final finale will probably be about suffering, and then it'll work its way up. So we start to do that, per aspera ad astra. There's always a bit there. But here we're fine. This is fun. So Mozart gave us, we're looking for our first theme. Now, we were talking about melody, didn't we, yesterday? There's a melody. It's the same thing as a tune. It's the same thing as a theme. So I'm going to use theme from now on, or perhaps first subject as well when we get there. But it's the same thing. Just this is the tune. So what is Mr. Beethoven going to give us that Mr. Mozart didn't? So here we go. Here's the debut. Stop there. That's just crazy. Actually, let's play the tune, the real tune. Yeah? So this is what I was, mesure 8, levé de 10. Oh, 7, 6, 6, 6, après le point d'orgue. So, So we are expecting this is our tune, and we're expecting it to start right at the beginning. But what does he do? He goes, yeah, ba, ba. And you think, I like this idea, da-dum, da-dum. I think that Beethoven probably after the second one said, oh, come on, I can't do this. This is just too naughty. And then after da-dum, bum, ba, then he goes out to the pub, has his drink, and thinks, can I really dare to do this? And then he goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. And all he's done in the end is do this scale, ba-da-da-da-da-dum. And we talked yesterday about octaves between cello and bass. Our octave, 8, oct 8, is all of this is, and if you went on the piano, you go, da-da-da-da-da-dum, we're in this scale. So we, in the Western music, decide that we are going to do our octave into 8. And just for those of you who octaves, can you play me your low C? You've got, and we play our low C. So, but that's an octave. For those of you who are, like numbers, that's twice the frequency of that. For those of you who like physics, Aram, can you just play me the open C? And then can you now stop this string halfway? This is the end of the string. Can you see? That's the end, the stop point, and that's the other end. So we had the whole string. Just play me the low C again. Right. And if we divide this in half, you'll play me an octave higher. So we stopped it there, so there. So it's simply half the length. It's twice the frequency. So octave. We decided, da-da-da-da-da-dum, we're going to divide it into 8. 5 symphonies later on, we're going to get ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-ba-ba-bum, and we know that Beethoven always goes tough. Here we are. First thing you do, heart on sleeve. And we know that when we get to we're going to use all the time. It's going to go on forever and ever until the second subject, the second idea comes. So here, actually, it's actually just simply the same tune, but he's being really funny with it. All right. So if you could do me something clever. En la troisième mesure, on commence un crescendo qui est pour 2 mesures. So on fait piano jusqu'au mezzo piano. Le troisième mesure, on fait en 4e mesure, on fait mezzo piano jusqu'au. Et faites attention avec le da-da-da, le mezzo piano, après le 3e double croche, on fait pianissimo pour le fin. All right? Let's just play this again. So, thwack. So there we go. He's a clever guy. Now, of course, if you start having a theme that goes, you can go, you can turn it on its head. You can go, you can go slow, and So you can do all of these things with the same one idea. So we found our first subject. Now, I want to give you an idea what you might listen to if you're going to a concert. So a piece like this, we've got the first job is we've got a first section, second section, and a repeat of the first section with the funny changes to make you laugh. In the first section, you're going to find 2 tunes. The first tune, the first subject, and the second tune, the second subject. And usually, this first bit gets repeated. So we all get a chance to check were we right the first time. So I want to try with you finding where is this second subject, all right? We found the first, where's the second? So here's the beginning again. Let's go. Direct là, yeah? That's got to be it, surely. That's the next big contrast. So we've got it, have we? What are the violins doing? Let's go, here's A, je dirige A. So we're going to go da da dum, da da dee da dum. All right, so this feels, it's close, isn't it? But it's the same diddle-diddle-dum. It's not diddle-diddle-dum, diddle-diddle. This isn't it yet. But it could have been. All right, so we kind of, is A. We continue. Anton. All right, well, that must be it, surely. Cello, basses, violas, play me, because c'est 46. 2, D, D. Looking for something that is completely different from the first. Okay, it could be. All right, so let's see whether it is. So on recommence tutti 46. Well, that was it, isn't it? This must be it, surely. So we had two goes where we could have been a second subject, but it wasn't. So we keep saying, yeah, maybe, no. All right, try again. No, I'm not sure. All right, and then we say, all right, fair enough. At the end of this number 2, there will be usually a coda, a little section that goes, yes, wasn't that fun? Something like this. So we're going to play this. Here's 78. So there we go. So now we got something new with the same material. We must be in the middle bit where we usually expect she, composer, takes these two things, and what happens if you mix them up a bit? And then we'll come to a third section where they put them back together again. So this is fun. Now this is really interesting. This is generally here. I have got an idea about how I think this piece should do. And one of my jobs, they've got all these notes and worrying, not worrying, they're very good, not worrying. They've got to play all this stuff. I've got this whole thing in front of them, me, look at it. Looks lovely, except I've scribbled all sorts of things. They only have one line. So my job is to try and find architecture. And I'm going to talk to you about two things that happens in rehearsals. One is balance, and one is color. Now, I don't know, we obviously use color even though it's a visual thing, so color. What character, let's say that, do we want each bit of that music to be? And at the moment, that's too compressed. It's too the same for me. So and it's not therefore not quite, it's not doing two things. It's not quite exciting enough. I think this piece is more exciting than we've just done it. And also, I think that there are funny, lovely little things in the middle that I am now going to try to tell them. Look at this. The violas don't know this yet, but I've colored that in green. That's really good. So we'll come and get this in a second. So this is what we're going to do. But let's look at balance, first of all. So I always think, you know, you've probably heard this now from here. We have microphones up here, and the public is always there. I'm in the center. If the whole is really true, what I hear here in the center is what they hear, what you will hear in the concert. It's a bit tricky now because it's a long way away. They're not, and that, we don't hear them very, very well. Perhaps they do over there. But what does it feel like if you are playing from there? If you're the timpani player or the trumpet, what does it feel like if you're the flute? What does it feel like if you're the third viola, right? I'd like let's play with this. This music you've now heard twice. Let's go and find that out, because you can see all composers give us these little things. So they give piano, P, piano. That means soft. There's a thing called crescendo, which means get crescendo, get louder. And there's a thing called F, which is forte, which means loud. Mozart never went in that piece more loud than F, but sometimes you get F, F. I can't find one here, but there is one. There we are. There's one. All right, so that's even louder. So as we gradually go on, Beethoven will be using all of this new stuff, all of these fantastic new instruments more. But that's all they get. They get whether it's... This line here means they're slurred. So the winds can go da, or then go da, da, or ta, 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 ta. They can do that. These strings can go da, or da, da, da. All that is telling us it's two notes together or not. And they haven't got any other idea how they should play. So we're going to go and find this piece from the trumpet, all right? So you're going to come with me? So we're going to play this exposition. Excuse-moi. Bonjour. Ah, tu es déjà là. Oh, très, très bien. Voilà. Okay, so this is what it feels. It's great. The curtain looks lovely. So this is what it feels like. So what does it sound like to be a trumpet timpani player in this thing? So we're going to go. We're going to play the exposition, all right? I'm not going to go all the way back here. So... just the début, right? So. So let's come with me. Come here. We're now going to be a first flute. You going to come with me? Yeah, let's come down here. Is it good? Oh yeah, we try here, right? Now, you saw. I don't need to conduct this. No conductor needs to conduct anything that an orchestra can play fantastically well by itself. So what is our job? Well, they tend to go the lowest common denominator, to be safe. That sounded completely different from there, and it sounds a long time before that sound gets there, that sound to there. So they tend to go dee da da pa pi da da da, which is very nice, but everybody's very safe. And we're going to change that once I get to the front again. But anyway, let's do the same thing oboe, right? Or should we go, let's go the second subject. No, I shouldn't say that, you won't know. 56? Yeah, 56, okay, 56. Thanks. You know, I don't know what you felt like, but I'm amazed you can ever play at all in this hall. You know, the hall's lovely, but it's very difficult to hear and by the time that's come here, you think, I play with this? No, I can't play with this, I'm too late. It's tricky. A really amazingly great hall should take that sound, this sound, that sound, bounce it off the top, put it absolutely together there, bounce it off the top, and put it absolutely together there, and everybody hears the same thing. That's very difficult to do. And, you know, when this hall was built, they tried to do something, but it's not very easy. It doesn't quite work this way. So let's be a viola. I've always wanted to be a viola. Okay, you are. We're going to be there. Do you want to come here? Right, solo. No. Let's play le début de exposition, right? Exposition, le début de exposition. crois qu'on n'a pas vraiment trouvé la vidéo de la même. C'est pas possible. Well, perhaps we got it in the sound, what it feels like, but thank you, violas, for being there. So you see, this thing, if I now say, sorry, it's a little bit late trumpets, or it's a little bit too quiet oboes, or it's a bit, this is what we have to do in these things. So I'm now going to short circuit that a little bit. I want you to find le troisième de B. Le troisième de B, ça c'est le deuxième thème. So this is our second theme, our second subject. Now, it's a bit unfair what I ask you to do now, because the composer never intended this, and every player who played this piece in 1800 will know you cannot play in the Baroque, and it's still here, three notes that look the same. You can play two, but you can't play three. So I'm going to ask you now only to do the dynamics and the liaison that's written, but no phrases from Jonathan Nott. So on fait tutti, troisième de B. I'm going to start at the bottom of this. So I'm going to take this bass line, look at it here, if you want to have a look. I've got this bass line, cellos and basses, which are my motor, and the second bassoon. And I'm going to tell them that the most important thing is the dominant. So they're going to go tiom, tom, 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 and they're going to give me a structure over 4 bars. All right, can I just hear that, please? 1, 2, dim, dim. We're going to do that. Now, they've got the problem always we have, that he writes these little dashes here, bluff, bluff, bluff. That just means not legato. And we all tend to see this as being really short. I don't think it is. So I'm going to ask you to be more melodic. Yom, boom, 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 more powder in the wig, as we go through this. How about we short circuit this, and now let's have the oboe and first bassoon line. All right? And now you're going to give me this. That's it. And let's even exaggerate more. More gentil, we'll try a little bit more than that, yeah? Fine, let's do that with the bass line, all right? Close. Une petite chose ici, j'ai l'impression que quand on fait un pa, la musique c'est dans cette direction. I always like music to go this way. It's a dance forwards rather than a drag backwards. So we're going to rush this. If we played with a metronome, we go, which is what the violas are doing, or the tune that they have. We are going to go forwards. We're throwing this music away, yeah? 1, 2, dee, da, This is great. Fantastic. So we're going to keep this. Now, I still won't put the melody on this. So we are going to then add the violas. This is my great E viola line. Just the violas, all right? So you're going to give me a crescendo to bar 2, diminuendo from bar 3, and you're going to go da-da-da-da-da, mezzo piano, perhaps mezzo forte, all right? Do, di, dim. Great. So each time we go da da pi pi o pi da pa pa, we're going to play mezzo forte 2 levels louder than the chuck 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 chuck. We're going to keep the chuck always with this, even in second time, avec crescendo diminuendo. So let's just do all of that together: cello, basses, woodwind line, and the violas. Do dim dum. Can you even more look? Quand j'arrive à 64, mezzo forte pour le 1. Yada pa 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 ba pa 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 pa. And then après là on fait le crescendo. On prononce encore un peu plus. Yes? Oh, sorry, because of course, yes, COVID, mask and microphone don't work. Is that better? There we go. Fantastic. Sorry about that. Okay, well, you heard what I say is useless. It's the music we want. So, okay, so I've got most of this. Now, if I'm then playing some really long notes, look, the clarinets are playing just this one note. What are they going to do in that? So you're going to give me some kind of thing as well. We always make long notes. We try and do crescendo, diminuendo. Same when the flute comes in. And then when the horns change, you're pa, give me a little bit poco sforzato sur le la. So still, let's play tutti, mais pas de mélodie. No melodies left and right. Troisième de B. All right. So cello basses. Violas are going to go crescendo to bar 3. You're not going to do a crescendo to bar 3. You're playing to bar 4, the dominant. So we get this slight overlap. Now, let's have a look at this. We've got a melody left and a melody right. This is 1 octave lower than that. And we are going to... Ta-da-da-da-da-da. So I always like if it's a lié, we really stroke. And if it's short, we try to get that, right? Huh? Sur la mélodie, c'était une question du couleur. It's a question of color about this one. We still see da in front of our nose. We got da da ya ya. There are 2 dots on this thing, and I don't like them. Da pa pa. It just means down, up, down, or up, down, up, down, up. Just change bow. And then ta is not enough beauté. So ta pa pa pa. And then doing da 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 pa da pa da. We present that one as well. Right? Just a melody, yeah? 2 and 2. Yes? Right, and then with the second half of this, when we get this pattern, da da pa pa pi da pa pa, we could do it 2 ways. We can go ti da pa pa pi da pa pa, or we take a bit more time for the ti da, which means we have to give it back. Otherwise, the violas get out. I exaggerate. They won't do quite that much, but so play me that. 64. So, now, the last thing I wanted is both of these 2 halves of this melody, they are not quite crazy enough. They're still drawing me back this direction. So when you get forte, and then we go something else. So you push that and a little bit more breathless when we get to this. Now we put it tutti together, all right? So c'est le deuxième thème, so this is the second subject, and we've now got a slight different feel. Yeah? So we're getting close. Now, I have to be clever in the time I've got now. What do I change when? So I think, first of all, I'm going to say to you, le troisième de B, et c'est trop fort, trop tôt. So on a 4 mesures, so 8 mesures, with 8 bars where nothing is happening, very like this. Just the more I push them, make agogic, of course, the less they are together. And then we have to find each other, because the viola's got to go teed up, 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 teed up. They have to do a little bit of a little bit of accompaniment there. Then when you get to this, there's 2 things. Can I just hear now septante? So this is, and then all of us, sforzato means force. So it's force and let go. Tia, wah, wah, wah. There's not enough diminuendo, and I want you to anticipate every bar. So let's play septante. Sorry, I stopped so quickly here. This. Okay, we want not the beginning of the bow, not da. Da, tia, yeah, like a little bit longer before we drop that. Can you also make sure that there's a line? Tia, here, here. What's the harmony doing? So each 4 of those are different sforzato. When you get to 74, that's the first fortissimo. Alors, un fortissimo, là, c'est pour ça qu'on est trop fort d'abord. So it's too loud too soon. When you get to this fortissimo, est-ce qu'on peut faire un diminuendo pour tous? toute la matériel, on fait diminuer la fortissimo, except the second violins. Yeah, and you kick this D natural for me, so that comes out of the texture. 78. I said yesterday that when we start listening to material throwing here, it's like a really good tennis rally. It's a tennis match, buff, and you're not sure where it's going to go. Yesterday, we only had strings, so we're only looking at our own chess pieces. Now we have a whole board, so I've now got to look at the whole thing. And you're not quite, I need to more, bash this ball back and forth. So let's just hear the wind, because they're a long way away, and they may be doing it fantastically, but I can't hear them properly. So it's 78, seuls les vents, tous les vents, timbal. You're going to do two things. Ta, pa, 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 that's too far apart. So je veux que on vit, pa, pa, on presse pendant les croches. Le sforzato lui-même, c'est un peu accent nul. Wah, pa, pa, wah, pa, pa, wah. Faites un sforzato un peu plus avec une chose comme ça. So let's put this with the timbal as well. So les 78. On commence 78 et après, pom, pom. Yeah? Un solo de timbal. 78, and yum. That's great. So all I want now is that you don't wait for each other. Anticipate a little bit more than this. That's going to be a great sound. So the timing of da ba bum, if we put the second note too soon, we'll get faster and faster. So you're going ba ba, don't do that. Ba ba in time, but the timing between ba ba, that faster. So let's hear what this goes 78 tutti. All right? Now chuck this material back and forth. So when we get to this last bit, strings, I still think this ya-da-da, ya-da-da, you wait to play until you've heard them. Pull the bow, start the note early, too early. Ya-da-da, ya-da-da, ya-da, and we catch it at the end. 68, on fait forte, mezzo forte pour tutti dans les vents. Vous me donnez forte pour les croches, papa, le sforzato plus di diminuendo, mais reste ta-ta-ta, ya papa, un peu plus là. Dans les basses, lignes de basse, 88, 88. These sforzatis have different function. So we're going to go G, 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 A, A, B, A, C, and the great one is C sharp, D, that. So you give me some story going up through all of those. When we get to le lever de 94, tous peuvent faire, mais tout le temps de basse avec le sol dièse. Quand on arrive à 80, c'est 94, 94, we have to pronounce a little bit more the second notes, otherwise I lose the harmony. And then we go back, or we carry on. Right, I have 5 minutes for you. What would you like? I don't know. I can't ask you this. Let's play the development, right? So we've played the exposition lots of times. So we're going to play let's go from 78 pour le deuxième fois. That's it. No problem. Go for it, especially this lot, yeah? 2, 3, 4. So I've just got enough time to do this. Look, obviously it's clear. The crazier we want, the more fun you have. The crazier we go, the more we have to know it. But I never want to fix it. So you heard, there's a really crazy bit. The altos start, tick, 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 tick. And they were a little bit safe, a little bit slow for me. I want the... So it's going to rush through this. And it's obviously first time play. Thank you, it's fantastic. Second time we played through, this has got to stay pianissimo, isn't it? When we get to this walking bass, 130, that's got to be more fun than that. So that, and then we've got to get a little bit clearer when we get to 130. Not trop faible, although I don't get... That was fantastic, but could have been a bit more crazy. You see, the thing is, the more we go away from our home key, here we're miles away. He's got to come back again. So part of our fun is seeing how far away from home can we go and still get back to home at the end. And that's where they start going crazier and crazier through the whole of the next century. And whatever the last thing, let's just play strings so that you've heard that en une fois. Le cinquième de C. Cinquième de C. Sur les cordes. Hein? Yeah, okay. Now try doing this. Try not to think of the last note, but more the first note. That way around. Then you see what happens there. Yeah? Huh? Of course, the music goes, yeah, we can't anticipate too much, otherwise we just fall apart. But I still think, you land up, tia, the kick on the up bow needs to be even more. Go here. That way around. And then, that's great. Try more sforzato mezzo piano for all of these ones. You see what happens, yeah? So, cinquième de C. Huh? When we get to this kind of Jaws thing, the sol dièse is plus important que le la. So try when we get all the way through there. So we are now going to have one more go for you before we stop this from 108. 108. Just stay with us one more minute. 108. Do. Huh? Thanks. See you tomorrow. What do we do tomorrow? Wagner, isn't it? Yeah. Meistersinger tomorrow. Fantastic. Thanks very much. Thank you too.